and good morning, and welcome to our Sunday morning service from members of the Wimbledon Spiritualist Church. It's lovely to be here again. This is now, I think, our 5th service, so it's wonderful to connect with all our church family. I know that from the WhatsApp group that they really look forward to listening in and being together. They just have to have the virtual tea and coffee afterwards, which are all doing from their own homes. But it's wonderful to be back together, and I'm very pleased to welcome Iain Mason, who'll be doing the mediumship for us. He's a friend of Wimbledon Church. In fact, he even comes and helps us put the Christmas decorations up when it's needed. So appreciate that and everything you do, Iain. And my son, Ashley Robinson, who'll be doing the address. We have changed the format slightly this morning, and we're going to do the healing thoughts and meditation after the main mediumship. Okay, so don't think I've suddenly forgot the healing. It's just that we're going to do that after the address and the mediumship. So I'm going to start this morning by asking you all to join as we invite our loved ones, our spirit friends, helpers, as we have our invocation. We say, Father, Mother God, be with us, unite us all together as one family. Send your protection around to keep us all safe, to keep us protected. May this church service be a beacon of light to those in need, to stretch out to the four corners of the world, for that positive energy to brighten our day. And may we be able to give inspiration and proof of survival for those in some of their darkest hours. We ask this in thy name, O Lord. Amen. Now, what I would like to do is also share a poem that has been written by one of our church poets, Iain Stead from our Hackbridge Church. And it's a lovely poem about the church service. Thank you for this service. Although we are not together, we can still join in as one. The warmth that comes with spirit, testing time will be overcome. Joining in from our homes, as we all join as one, just to have that connection means so much to everyone. It is so uplifting for the lonely, as so many are on their own, giving strength at this testing time, keeping faith, all will be fine. So we look to our Sunday service, bringing healing and much strength. So grateful we can come as one, until we can sit in church again. And I say that's from Irene, so thank you very much, Irene. We've had one or two lovely church poems that have been on our WhatsApp group, and that's been our main means of communication with our church congregation. And I just wanted to share that we've had one of our congregation, Phil, that's not been too well, and he's now hopefully pulling through and doing well. And next week we have a church birthday, and Kelly will be celebrating a special birthday. So we have missed a few of our congregation's birthday this last few weeks with those that have had lockdown birthdays. And what we would do is have a really big party at church when we can finally open the doors. We also recognise that there are many other people that have tuned in to listen to us during this time of lockdown. And, we welcome them to come to our church when our church is open. Luckily, what you'll see at the beginning when there's a photograph of the church, we are a big size. So we should be able to do social distancing quite easily. We're having at least 10 rows. We are hoping to, get back together as soon as we can. But I know that people will be fearful of going out and making connections, fearful of using public transport. But we have to, use that fear for positive, because there is nothing to fear but fear itself. And we need to use that positive energy to go forward and to bring that love into our lives and around us and our church family and friends. So we just have those few moments of knowing that we're all together And then I'm going to pass you over in a moment to Ashley for the morning address. And as I say, we will do our healing moments that little bit later. So thank you for listening to me. And Ashley, over to you.
Hello, folks. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Divine Service, Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, incorporating Hatbridge Spiritualist Church, our wider church family, Life After Death Promotions and United Spiritualist Confederation Limited. Very much a family and an umbrella organisation where everyone is welcome apart from egos. Great to engage with you this morning and great to work with you. Thank you so much for joining in. Hello there, Jim. Good morning from Bonnie Dundee. Welcome. Hope the sun is shining where you are. If you're watching on a party today, a watch party, welcome to you. But please bear in mind, any comments inside the watch party will be limited to the audience that are joining that watch party. If you want to engage with us today, like Cat MT, good morning to you. If you want to engage with us in that way, please use the main video source from the Spiritual Productions TV channel on Facebook or YouTube. Good morning there, Mandy. Hello to you. Great that you're all tuning in and listening in. And if you are looking to engage and you're saying yes, or you're feeding information, then let us know what it is you're saying yes to, particularly when we get to the mediumship with Iain. Do let us know what you're saying yes to. We'd love to hear that from. Hello, Bill, and hello to everybody engaging. Do let us know where you're watching. You don't have to, specifically mention the toilet or the hallway or something like that. But which part of the world are you? Morning from Wallington. Well prompted there, Donna. So let us know where you're watching. It's great that we can engage with so many of you. I know that lots of us, and hi, Jules, morning from West Midlands. Good morning to you. I know lots of us will be thinking about that announcement we're going to get from our Prime Minister later today and what sort of tweaks. Hello, Emma. What tweaks might be made to the lockdown. But the theme of my address, if it had a title, would be why rush back to a state of normality? Back being the significant word there. Hi there, Nola. Because why? Why do we want to return back to the old normality? Why do we not want to use these foundations? Hello, Pauline. Why don't we want to use these foundations to build a new superstructure, a new normality? And hello, Ruth. Hello there from Hertfordshire, or Hertfordshire and Fareham. Hello, Emma. There's opportunities that have come with this crisis. Hi there, Andrea and Caroline, watching from Fulham, Vice President at Fulham. Hello to all our friends at Fulham Spiritualist Church. The idea that this crisis has been easy would be absolutely wrong. Hello, Sarah from Chichester. It has caused a roller coaster of emotions. And one of the things I've been doing with my little boys, Ethan, who's 5 and Noah is 2, is to write down a little piece of paper and stick it inside a glass jar. The things that we're unable to do right now, the things that we've missed, be that giving my mum a kiss and a hug. I was going to say I'm a touchy-feely person, but that doesn't sound particularly spiritual, does it? I'm an extrovert. I get my energy from other people is probably a more spiritual way of saying that. And I've missed that. So we started off dropping these little ideas into a jar. And it's going to be a brilliant bucket list of things to do as a family once we're totally through this crisis. But one of the things I really want to start doing now is actually to think about the lessons I'm learning during this time, to write down on bits of paper the things that I'm grateful for. I'm certainly grateful for my health and the safety of my home. I'm more grateful for the opportunity of having a garden. I'm grateful for Wi-Fi right now and the ability to engage with you and this platform. And as I kind of mix together those wish list of things I want to do with the family afterwards, the things that I'm learning about myself and about my family, it starts for me to be the foundations of a new normality. So I don't want to go back to the way things were. I want to take the best of what was there. I want to throw that into the mix of the things I've learning and how I'm going to focus my time and energy afterwards to introduce a state of new normality. One of the ideas that, or if you like, inspirers, one of my inspirers sort of came to me today was this sort of symbol of the community of spiritualism. And we've got a great partnership here with Spiritual Productions that are doing an enormous work. Thank you to Richard in the studio for facilitating these events. And do bookmark his page and subscribe on YouTube, because there's pretty much something spiritual coming on almost all day, every day. And what a fantastic opportunity to engage with people. I know, Richard, when we spoke on Friday, you had close to probably 20,000 people engage with your channel at some point throughout that day. And if you think about that going on 7 days a week, and lots of those people will be the same. But even those that kind of just zoom in for 5 minutes and listen to a prayer or an address, or see evidence of that life after death, after that change we call death. What an incredible thing to do. Okay. So since there we go, the stats in the studio, live from the studio, Rich has just confirmed 365,000 unique engagements since the launch of the Spiritual Productions TV channel. And even if only one of those people had never heard of spiritualism and never seen that evidence of life after death once before, what a brilliant thing we've done. At a time where there's this quite horrendous mass exodus of spirit souls back to that place I call heaven. What a wonderful knowledge to possess. What a wonderful thing to share that knowledge that there is no death. That change we call death, there is a life after that. And our friends and our family, their personalities, that continues, that soul. And they will come back through a medium if they're unable to influence you, and they will give you evidence of that personality, evidence of the personality and the life they lived, to show you that their life continues. And I know that they always bring us our love. It's a beautiful message we get from them. But the other thing we always hear from spirits is they're in no rush to come back. They might miss people, and they often miss friends and family, and we miss their physical presence. But whatever heaven is, it's absolutely everything they need it to be at those moments. And that's a great comfort to me. This year, I lost my grandfather, my last surviving grandfather. And I say lost, I never lost him. I knew exactly where he was. But he transcended, he passed over to that spirit world. And knowing that his life continues after this, knowing that he's reunited with my nan, knowing that he's finally found a pint of ale at the right price and the right temperature, it's enormously rewarding. And I just want to finish this address by saying that as you go forward and you build the foundations that you're going to build superstructures on, as you start to think about the way that you're going to introduce a new normality, as you start to prioritize who you spend your time with, I encourage you to spend time with people that make you happy, doing things that make you happy. And wherever possible, to get in tune with your higher self, to understand that we do have guides, even if we're not aware of them, or we recognize them all by the same names and presence. I'm a great believer that we all have at least 2 guides with us. That first guide, really, really important to us. It's someone that's made a decision in that heaven side to be with us on our journey, potentially signing a contract that could be worth up to 100 years in our sort of earthly time. I know that in heaven, time doesn't work the same way, but recognizing the fact that as we try and live our best possible life now, with the best possible version of ourselves in pursuit of that happiness, knowing that the universe, that pure energy, that unconditional love being one of the most powerful ingredients of that as a spiritualist, one of the greatest ways of showing that unconditional love is through service to others. What better spiritual service could one give than guiding someone through the problems of their human life? Now, I saw a brilliant video shared by Begita, one of our congregation, and it was 2 little children talking telepathically about the experiments on Earth, talking about a time where there were volunteers from heaven who went down to influence up here and down here at the same time. And it really was quite fantastic. First time I'd seen the video, felt like I was rehearing it again, like a bit of philosophy. And understanding that our guides are with us and they're happy to give us this steer, recognizing that core ingredient of free will, then it's at that core level of our instinct, our intuition, and dare I say conscious or common sense. I believe that that's where our guides can influence the most. Now, some people might call these people doorkeepers, principal guides. Some people might call them their guardian angel. It doesn't matter. As long as we feel their light, we feel their love, and know that if we want to, they're there to guide us. Then it's just down to us as we develop our conscious, as we flow in those values and morals that make us the human being in this life. It's up to us to listen to our conscious, to follow our intuition, to use our brain and our heart to follow that pursuit of happiness, doing things that make us happy with people that make us happy. And that, my friends, is the breadcrumbs I want to leave you with. Continue to build the foundations of your new normality. If you can, you have the ability to cut out the things that you want less of, then do that. Think about the lessons we're learning right now and the things that we're even more grateful for and thankful for, because that's how we build our superstructures together. That's how we build the new normality. That's how we hang on to the things like the birds singing more in the garden, the sunshine getting through and less pollution, all of those things that are going to give us this best possible experience. It's then we can listen to that voice, that conscious or that guide of ours, as we start to discover more about our own purpose, more about our own ambition. And dare I even say that, let's assume we had a role as architects in designing this life, picking out some of those things, some of that destiny we might experience by making the right decisions on that way. Those are our opportunities, my friends. God bless you all. Have a fantastic weekend. Keep on keeping on. Thank you, my friends. I would now like to introduce our medium, the fantastic Iain Mason, and a good friend of mine, a great ambassador of the spirit world. Let him be your medium. Thank you very much. I've been Ashley Robinson.
Good morning, everyone. Well, thank you to Jackie for opening there. Thank you for Ash for those lovely words. I'll pay you later. And of course to RJ, our main man in the studio there, for making this possible. So, hello, wherever you are in the world watching. Hopefully you're far and wide. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be sharing some time together this morning with you, where we will welcome you with a whole heap of love. That's what we do. So please do kindly remember the helpful pointers that Ashley mentioned about the information that you acknowledge and you say yes to, and just fill in the extra bits and pieces for that so we know. So if it's yes, I understand, Dad 57 and March, just let me know. I will be carrying on with the readings as we go once I get into them. There may be a slight time lag with comments coming up through Facebook. It's just how the technology works. Okay, so just be mindful of that. And we'll see where we go. Hi Wendy, good morning to you. So please please share, and we're just going to send you all of our love. Morning George, Scampish George. Okay, good morning Georgie. Right, okay. So let me just see where I'm going. Okay. Oh, did you? What did you do with that? Okay. I've got this fella that joins in here with me. Now, I know that he would be a granddad. He's obviously a dad too. But he just makes me aware that he has memories of the grandchildren when he was here in the physical. And I know that he didn't get to see them much, probably after about the ages of 6 or 7, something like that is where he makes me feel. I'm very much aware of a blonde-haired little girl. He makes me aware of her, so that'll be his granddaughter. And I know he keeps talking to me here about his ticker packing up. And I know that he talks to me here about some sort of suffocating effect that was going on in his chest, beg your pardon. I know that he passes quite quickly, but I want to say it's probably over about a week or so. There's a very much an up and down with him. I'm drawn to the number 57. I need to give 57. I know that March is significant for an anniversary, and he just talks to me about some difficulties around the end of November, beginning of the December in the year before he passes. I know that as he goes out here, he would have had words with the family that were around him. And I'm seeing there's a gentleman here that feels like a son. And he's just tapping him on the hand there. And he says, I'll be all right, boy. Don't you worry. You just take care of everyone. So if anyone can understand that, please do let me know. I'm hearing the name Arthur as well that's being shouted out here. And I'm also hearing the name Mary that's coming in as well. So do let me know if you can understand that. Okay, all right. Let me keep going with that. I know that before he passes, he's talking about an incident where somebody would have fallen off a ladder, because I can see this ladder coming away from a building. It's like I've got somebody going up to fix something up on the roof or something like this. And I know that there was a bit of a calamity there as it all kind of came tumbling down. He says it was really quite unfortunate, but he's just really wanting to bring this awareness back in for everybody. So, okay, all right. So what are we doing with that? Okay, fine. He's making me aware of a lady that would be linked to him as well, that would have passed of a heart attack, and that would have taken her out completely. I know that she would have passed instantly, so that's a quick up and gone. I know that they're joined back together again, and he's quite happy to have her. And he feels quite London-y for me, because he kind of like just sort of grabs her in here with the arm and gives her a peck like that. So I know he's really pleased to be reunited again. So I don't know if anybody can understand that yet. Okay. Glenys. Okay, Glenys. Thank you very much for speaking up. So would you understand as well that my lovely fella, my granddad here, would have been, what I want to say is quite weathered looking, because he looks a bit like Sid James. If you're young enough to remember Sid James off the Carry On films, he seems to quite like the outdoors here, and he's very caring of the family. I know that he would have had quite a hard life, because he just makes me aware that these weren't just lines from the weather he sent me in, these are lines of sacrifice. And he's just got this enormous love for the family that he says he never got the chance to sort of appreciate. It's like his family all came back together for him at the wrong point in his life. And I know that he just has a lot of love to share out and embrace everybody with here. He's acknowledging that there's a birthday around now, because he keeps bringing me a cake in. And he keeps saying those double figures are getting bigger. So it feels like it must be a significant birthday or a significant celebration for somebody right now as they hit a birthday. So if you understand that, Glenys, please do let us know, because he's laughing that he wasn't the only one that had a few candles on his cake. His name is Sid. How funny. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. You've got to laugh how it all comes together. Okay, I could say who matron, couldn't I, really? All right, but he's running around, and he says that life is for living, and he says you are actually better off dead in some ways, because he's turning it into a joke. But he says to me here that it's really important that you appreciate your time here, and he just makes me aware that he wished he'd have had more time with his own children before he passes, because he's just sort of saying it all makes sense sometimes too late. So I know that he comes in with a great deal of encouragement here at the moment as well. He's really excited to sort of pop his head through the veil or over the veil, whichever way around you want to do it. And he comes forward. He's not a big drinker. Okay, great. You understand the birthday. Fabulous. I was just about to say, he's just toasting. He's not a massive drinker for me here, but he just wants to acknowledge the occasion. Okay, but he doesn't want any of that champagne rubbish. He's telling me he's just sort of got a beer here. That's what he's doing, and he's just sort of symbolising that I'm an uncomplicated fella. But Glenys, the message that he's given me right now that he wants to pass on is it's not worth getting yourself all in a stew about all the things that you've been setting as goals for yourself that you've said you've absolutely got a must have. Now, that's not to be rude to you, my darling. He just shares this feeling forward about the simple pleasures in life and what they mean. And he's just saying to me here, I must pass on to you that it's important that you enjoy them and that you embrace every minute. He just keeps talking about the stillness of your mind. And he says, don't worry about everybody else, because, you know, everybody's fine and they're taking care of themselves. Now, he's talking to me about an uncle that would have been somebody that would have joined him in more recent times as well. He's not saying to me where this uncle comes in from, but he's just making me aware of this uncle that comes in. And I need to acknowledge what sounds like a Peter connection here that links with that. And I also need to acknowledge there's a September anniversary with this as well. It feels like a birthday. But he's just saying that we're all gathering here and we're welcoming each other in. And we're all sort of saying hello to the people that have passed. He's just taking my attention over to Ireland and bringing that in as well. And he's saying, don't forget the links to Ireland. So I hope that you understand that in the family there. But it's just a lot of upliftment right now that he brings forward, like I say. And he just says, there was something that you were thinking about taking a massive chance on. And it's like a massive life change. I can't quite understand what he's showing me here, because it's almost like either the house could move or life could move in some way, or it's a massive, sort of like life upheaval, and everything moves on. And he says to me here, he says that, you know what, sometimes things don't work out for a reason, and you'll understand why, that you're in a better place for it, although you couldn't understand it at the time. And he says, I love everyone, and I've moved heaven and earth for you. So just understand that your guardians are all around you. So I'm going to leave his love, your Nan's love, and Peter's love with you, and say God bless you. Thank you very, very much for sharing your time there and speaking up. Okay. Oh, I'm tingling all over. Okay, if you're watching by Watch Party, ladies and gentlemen, just to gently remind you that we are unable to see your comments here on the screen as presenters. You need to go to the Spiritual Productions TV Facebook page and pass your comments through that. So please understand that and just have that patience with us. It's just the way the technology is. So great stuff. Okay, now let's see where we're going. All right, okay. Okay, fine. I've got okay, see, what's that? Just bear with me. Your relatives are all talking to me here. I can't, one at a time. Right, okay, you are, okay, fine. What's the C? That's you, is it? Okay. All right, I've got a young lady, bless her, that joins me here. It tells me she passes of a cancer condition, and she keeps showing herself like Eva Cassidy. And Eva Cassidy, if you don't know her, is a singer, and she passed too young from cancer some time ago now. But my lovely lady, as she comes in here, she has lovely blonde hair down to the shoulders here. I know that she would have loved singing, and I know that she comes in and she really wants to share her love to the family, and she keeps talking to me about mum. She's keep acknowledging mum here. Now I keep hearing the name. It's either Carol, Caroline, or a name very, very similar to this, but it feels like Carol for me. I do know that mum will be feeling the pinch right now about being separated from the family. So if mum isn't watching, please just widen your minds here to what she's saying. She just keeps calling out Dave for me as well. And she's talking about a younger brother somewhere that would have passed. And I don't know whether this brother links into the family or all around this as well, but I'm aware of a younger brother figure, a younger male that passes in a car accident as well, because they're joined back together again. Now, they must have known each other here in the physical, because they're sort of laughing and joking between them, and it just feels like that connection's too strong to be separate or distant family in this occasion. So that's what I need to say with that. She says she passed to me some time ago, and I feel like I want to go around the 10-year mark, give or take a little bit with this. So okay, what are you doing there, my darling? Okay, she talks about it being a merciful release to the end, and she's just talking about what she's saying to me is the father figure that was with her, that would have been with her, holding her hand until the moment she passes. So would somebody please understand this information? Do please speak up. Okay, and I will keep going. Right, okay, all right, okay. Somewhere over the rainbow. Right, then where we're going. Claire. Okay, she's telling me Claire. I need to mention Claire. Okay, so she's just giving me that name, Claire. Okay, all right. Okay, what's all of that? I don't understand. Okay, all right. Oh, she's doing that, is she? Fine. Okay. I also need to say that she's aware of a Nan that, since her passing, would have fallen over and either broken her hip or something like this. She's just making aware of this incident with a grandmother figure. That's what I want to say. I did see a message pop up just then from someone that acknowledged Carol, but I didn't catch that. So I'll ask our lovely producer to pop that back on the screen. Okay. But I know that she's a very heartful lady, and I know that she wants to come back in here and just pass on a message to you. So, okay, Tracey Jones. Here we go. I can take Carol, and also car accident, mother-in-law, and 10 years ago now. Okay. Thank you, Tracey. Thank you, Indigo. Very kind of you, my darling. Lovely Indigo. Right. Okay. Now, okay. Yeah. Hi, Kirsty. Thank you very much, my darling. Same to you, matey. Big kiss. Okay, Tracey. So I'm going to work with you, my darling, if that's all right. Okay. Carol, car accident, mother-in-law. Fine. Okay. Tracey, can you let me know if you understand my lovely lady here that passes of the cancer condition, please, as well? And she's making me aware of another lady in the family that would have passed of the breast cancer. That's what she's talking about here. She's also telling me about a grandfather figure that would have passed, who would have gone into hospital here and would have had some difficulties with general health that she's aware of, because I've got issues with like tubes and things going down my throat, and difficulties getting the food in there as well. And she's not sort of having a party just to bring everybody down. It's the fact that we're all back together, and she's quite happy. Tracey, she's if you understand her, she's really pleased to be here. She just says to me at the moment, it's really important that you understand that you don't go out of your own mind. She says it's almost like you're trying to get everything into place, ready for when the lockdown eases and when we can go forward again. But what she's saying is you're trying to make the things work that weren't working for you. And that's not meant to come across as being horrible. What she's saying is just make sure that you get in tune with what you feel for yourself, and you don't go on autopilot, which is like, getting caught in that hamster wheel and going round and around. She just wants to, if you like, pour oil on the waters and just bring that calmness back into each moment. She's sending some healing to your shoulder, my darling, because she's talking about you hurting your shoulder in some way, and she's just making me feel like my neck is a bit horrible here. And she's just placing her hands on you. She says that you've been carrying far too much weight of things all for yourself. And it's important that you give yourself a break as well. She keeps talking here about you being constantly on the phone and talking and taking care of others, but she's saying sometimes it's important to switch off as well. Now, as she looks down, she just keeps talking about an issue to do with my foot, but this isn't an issue for you. This is symbolic, just about everything that you are carrying at the moment. And she's just saying to me here that, you can't go on as you are. That's why you need to get rid of everything else. So your frustrations really are needing to be set aside right now so that you can keep going. And to Nick Ash's phrase, keep on keeping on. So she just brings that sort of like love and upliftment for you as well. And she keeps saying, pace yourself. You don't have to jump to everybody's tune. It's just important that you just take a break for yourself there, and just some self-love and nurturing. I don't know what this is that you watch on the TV, but she's laughing because you must be watching a program that's quite nostalgic for you. So I need to be going back in time with this. And she says you're like watching the programs over and over again. It'd almost be like watching like a Charlie's Angels, but the original one all over again. And that's what she's doing. So she just wants to bring that love and upliftment in for you. And I'm going to leave her love with you and say, God bless you and take care of yourself. Thank you for coming in there. Wonderful. Right. Okay. Hello, Lorna. Hello, David from South Africa. How are you, my friend? I sent you a message, by the way. Hope you got that. Right. Okay. So let's see where we're going. Who are you now? Now I've got Nan that joins me, and this is Dad's mum. She's a lovely. I'm going to use the words wee little lady because at 6'1", she looks quite small for me. Bless her. As I want to be about a fag end over 5 foot. She comes in here, and she's about as full of love as she is in the physical. She's got so much love to give out here, and she's, what I want to say is one of those ladies that would squeeze you to death almost with love, that your eyeballs will pop out on stalks. And she keeps acknowledging the little boy for me here, and she keeps saying he's a little smasher. Okay, so I know that she's really excited about what feels to me like her grandson that she wants to acknowledge has grown up quite a bit since she's gone. Now, she's also acknowledging that her son that would be here is, how can I put it? Is sort of doing quite well in strange times. It was one of those things where he's managed to adapt his life to be able to cope with the challenges that life's thrown at him, because it feels like I wasn't able to perhaps have what might be, how can I put this? I'm just trying to find the tactful words to put it through. It's like we're all given a chance, right? But we're all given a relative chance. So I don't know how he was, I'm going to use the words impaired in some way, but whether it was something maybe like dyslexia or something like this, that it was just he had those extra challenges to overcome, but they've been his greatest opportunity. But she's really pleased that he's doing quite well. Now, I did see a message flash up there, and there we go. Caroline, yeah. So Caroline, hi. We're going to get your message back. Right, my nan was called Little Nan. Okay, all right, that's lovely, my darling. Okay, and Ruth, you can take that as well. Fantastic. Can you both please listen in then? And can you just let me know whether you understand the little smasher, the little grandson? He's quite square, bless him. So I know that he's a robust little fella, and I know that he would be full of energy and run around like a loony and be very imaginative in his mind. And I want to say quite spiritual as well, because she's very much aware that she can still communicate with him here. Okay, all right. I'll tell him. Okay, there's also a P name here as well. Hi, Rose. I need to acknowledge it feels like a pull for me that she's passing through, and I need to pass that on to you. I know that there will be an April birthday that's just passed here. She makes me aware of that, and Mary's popping in from the other side, which feels like another, what I want to say is like a grandmother figure who wasn't a grandmother but would have been on that sort of parent line level there as well. So can you girls just let me know, Ruth and Caroline and Neil on my screen there, you understand it all as well? Oh, and Indigo. Okay, all right, fine. Okay, right, okay, all right, okay. Right, Neil, I feel quite drawn to you, but ladies, can you just listen in, please? Because sometimes you do get a message from a message. Okay, so Neil, do you understand the name Paul as well, please? Can you just let me know that you understand Paul? And I just need to acknowledge about the birthday that would have just passed in April, just gone there, because he's acknowledging, it's like he's given that a big salute. So I know that would be really important for him, because he's acknowledging how that person was important. And I do just feel that I need to give my acknowledgement to them as well, and just to thank them for everything that we're doing. Okay, great, Neil. That's fantastic. I'm going to work with you, Neil, because I do feel quite drawn to you. Yeah, okay, yeah, and please do remember not just to say yes, do just say yes, and to what the information is that you can take. Okay, so thank you, Neil. Right, all right. Now, he's coming in. He's coming in here at the. Oh, who are you? Hang on a moment. I'm switching horses. What did you do? Okay, I've got what feels to me like a father here as well that's joining, and he keeps talking to me about Scottish connections. Okay, he's just jumped in, and I know that he's got ginger hair. He wants me to mention his ginger hair, bless him. Okay, and he keeps talking to me about Jock. Okay, but I'm just going to set him aside for a moment because he. Okay, no, I'm not going to set him aside for a minute. He keeps talking to me here about. Okay, thank you, Neil. Thank you very much, and happy belated birthday, my friend. He just keeps talking to me here about wandering through the wilderness, and it's like he's showing me like the glens in Scotland, okay? And he just really wanted to burst forward with that, and it's like a memory that I just don't want to forget. So I'm just going to ask him to step back for a moment, because your nan, bless her, she's so patient. She's sitting here, and she comes in now. Okay, all right, my darling. What did you do with that? She wants to know if you've still got the gift that she gave. Can you understand that? And it just feels like something that's really, really personal that she would have given you, and she would have told you it was a treasure, and she's holding it very close to her heart here, so I can't see what it is. She's just making me aware that it's some sort of like a pendenty thing or something like this that she's just keeping very, very close to her. Okay, because she said that was left for you, and it's important that you don't lose it. It's important that you have it on you. All right. She's saying as well that her head was also a little scatty, bless her, towards the end of her life. It's like she really, okay, Scotland family on dad's side, fantastic, thank you. I know that she's just here and she's just saying, you know, I really didn't know what was going on. And she makes me aware of either going in and out of hospital or in and out of either a home here, whether that was the home that she was living in and she then had to go into care and some sort of facility like that. She just makes me feel of like going in and out because she just wasn't able to really look after herself too well, bless her, towards the end. And I know that she just says that at the moment for you, it's important that you understand that you don't go out of your mind. She says, just keep that focus on the family there. You know what to do. She says that you're a great organizer. Never forget that. She's saying to me here that you are, what can I say? You need to really go on and stick to all the plans that you've made. All right, and just make sure that you follow what you've put in place, because she says you've got everything organized. It's like you've got a 5-year plan here about how you want to grow the home and the business. That's what she's saying. Okay. Okay. So you can't remember the pendant or the ornament that she gave. It feels like a badge or it's a symbol. It's something like this that she just keeps showing me. All right. Okay. But she just says to me here that you've got everything in place. It's really, really important that you just keep on with that. She's talking here about issues with a back complaint here. She makes me aware that you've tweaked her. Thank you, Neil. She makes me aware that you've tweaked your back in some way, or you've had some sort of difficulty there, and it feels like, it's like right over in there and getting me in my hip, because she's sending you some healing there too. But she says it's really, really important that you keep yourself free at the moment, because she says you're getting all tense about everything like that, and she just wants you to relax. She says that she's talking about plans for house moves for you as well. And she's just saying to me here that it's been an interesting ride over the last 5 years. And she's just saying to me here, and this is separate to the 5-year plan that I mentioned earlier, but she says, you know what? She says it's better to stop and build up where you are and get strong. And she means to grow organically and make sure that you've got everything in place before you take those leaps of faith. But she just says to me here, be open to the job change opportunities that are coming for you. She's saying to me that things feel like they're not working out, and she's saying that's right, but not that they're not working out, that they are working out. And the reason that you're feeling a little unsettled is that you already know that you need to make those changes, and whilst you don't know what they are, you know that there's something calling you. And she's saying just be open to whatever form that presents itself to you in, and make sure you go with that. Okay. All right. So okay. I'm just seeing what your grandfather's doing here, because he's rolling around the glens in Scotland here. Okay. All right. Okay. Neil, would you understand the cancer conditions with him, please, before he passes? He's just making me aware of a cancer condition, and it feels like it's lower down in his body. And he's just making me aware that he was as strong as an ox, you know, in his mind and everything else. And he's just saying, we're made of strong stuff. We're made of strong stuff. Saying, if I can overcome and go through and deal with that and live long enough to come back and tell you the story through me today, he says, you'll be fine and keep on going. Leave your family as well. God bless you, and thank you for confirming that. And we'll send you some healing later on to help you with your back pain, and good luck with your business. Thank you very, very much for stepping forward and taking that information. Whoa. Okay. Oh, what was that? What's that all about? Okay. All right. Okay. Now I've got a dad that's joining with me here, and he keeps talking about. It sounds like he's saying Rob, but it almost sounds like he's saying Rab at the same time. And he's a real sort of strong fella. Now, okay, I don't know why you're talking about that. But now he would have had London links. He's talking to me here about there was a how can I put it, a London figure, sort of a little along the lines of the craze back in the day, called Lenny McLean. And he's just making me feel a bit like that. So a really strong fella, wouldn't have taken any nonsense, and he would have fought everything in his life as he goes. He literally made himself into the man that he was from less than what I want to say is a privileged position. He's really, really proud of that. And he wants to acknowledge that his son needs a little bit of upliftment right now, and he needs that if you like, that motivation back, because he's just saying to me that oh, hang on a moment, whoa, things went a bit dicky for him in February. He's saying to me here that he had what he felt was a little bit of an unfortunate shot across the bows. And he didn't really know what to do with himself, and he's just willing him on, and he's just saying, keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. I know that he does pass of a cancer condition here. He makes me aware of that, and I know that he's how can I put it? Okay, mate. Okay. Oh, he's just said a rude word to me. It's a bit rude, isn't it? Okay. All right. Okay. He's just saying to me, he wants to acknowledge, he says, my boy is being messed about, but he's not using those words. And he says he needs to tell everybody around them to go away. I'm sure you can fill in the blanks. There's very frank language with this. That's what he wants to do. And he's just talking about here about major complications with the family. I need to talk about somebody that's almost trying to split people up, rather than bringing them back together. And it's a bit like they've thrown like a hand grenade in there and really messed things up. That's what I want to say. There's a big issue here about finances being, he makes me feel either blocked or taken, or I don't want to say stolen, because it's not as strong as that, but it feels like there's some messing about here with the finances. And this is what I need to acknowledge. Dee. I need to acknowledge Donnie. There's a Don or a Donnie that he wants to acknowledge too. Okay. And he's talking to me here about his boy having a bit of a cough at the moment and needing to clear that. Okay, Bill. Hello. Oh, it's my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, I do know Bill. Bill, I don't know if I've read for you before, mate. I know we've worked together. You understand all of that. Oh, and Natalie too. Okay, so Bill, do please listen in, and Natalie, you understand that too. Right, but I really do need to emphasise I've got these really, really strong London links, which is like no messing, no ducking, no jiving, just business. I know that in his time he would have been well known in. I'm going to use my South London side's going to come out now. He keeps telling me he's well familiar with the London boozers. And he says he used to have a lot of dealings with them, and he talks about sorting out trouble in the pubs for them. Okay, it's quite funny here, and he would have been known. He says I was a face. Okay, so if you can understand that, do. Okay, apparently I've just been told by my lovely producer we have an issue with the internet, so just bear with us. So just to recap there, my lovely fella here, he's coming in. He says that he was a face. He was known in all the London boozers. He used to sort out their troubles, and he was definitely known. He wished he could be here now to sort it out, but he says I passed too quickly, and I do feel that I'm in my 60s here, towards the end of my 60s, probably around 65, 67, somewhere around there. Bill, thanks for confirming that. Natalie, do you understand that, my darling, still? Oh, your dad was a bouncer. Okay, all right, keep working with me. All right, okay. Who had the Ford Granada? He keeps talking about this Ford Granada. I know Lenny McLean had a Ford Granada at one point, but I've got this Ford Granada, and it's like it's my, what is it, your fifth child? He says it's his fifth child. So I know that he's got 4 kids that he wants to acknowledge. Okay, he just makes me aware of that. And Danielle, you understand that too. The Granada is significant. Please don't do this to me, everybody. Okay, all right. So we've got Danielle, Natalie, and Bill. Okay, all right. So what are you going to do, my friend, like that? Okay, right. Now, Bill, keep listening. I just want to work with Natalie and Danielle. Do you understand this connection with his son having at the moment Paul? Because what will separate you from Bill, okay? And these issues to do with the family there, and the issues to do with the relationship and the breakups and everything else going on. That's a really important factor. Your granddad had that car. Your dad was 60. You have 3 siblings, Bill. Okay, so that's 4. Right. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Right. Let me just see if I've got to work with all of you then. Right. Okay. I know that he's got his girl with him because he just says. She says she's still feeding me my bread. So I know that his wife. I know that your mum would also be with him and would be one good old cook. That's what I want to say. He's talking to me here about she had a lot of problems with her knees before she passes, and she talks about he talks about her difficulties with her getting about. Okay, right. Okay, fine. So you all seem to be able to take that. Okay, so I'm going to work very, very quickly just because of the time. I'm conscious of that, and I think I'm going to work through all of you. Bill. Now, Bill, I do know. Okay, Bill, thank you for confirming that. Natalie Bunting. Right, okay. So, Mr. Producer, if you could kindly be my PA and remember, as I've got a triple link here going on, I need to remember Natalie and Danielle. Bill, I'm going to work with you first, Bill, because it's going to be short, sharp, and sweet. Bill, because I know you and some of your circumstances, forgive me, my friend, I don't want to dwell too much on it. I just want to say that you know that your dad's got your back. He wouldn't have stood for all of this nonsense. He would have come forward and sorted everything out. That's what he's going to say. And because we know a lot of similar people on here, I'm keeping this deliberately as vague as I can. So forgive me, people. He's just saying, you all know what that means, but he's talking about what you've got up your sleeve that you've been not really wanting to play that card. And he says, just make sure if you need to play it, you play it for the right reasons. But he's saying, boy, play the long game. Bill, you'll understand that. I'm going to leave your mum and your dad's love with you and say God bless you as I move on. And I feel like I need to go to Danielle next. So, Mr. Producer, could you just pop up Danielle's last comment for me, please, as well? Oh dear, I understand we're having internet issues. Okay. Danielle, if you can hear this, my darling. Yes, the daughter is over there with my nan. Right, okay. Okay, all right, let me just see how this all fits. All fits in with you, my darling. Right, okay. Danielle, would you understand that I've got a nan here that passes of a heart condition. I know that she passes and would have suffered from things like angina as well as the heart conditions. But she says to me at the moment, she comes really, really close to you and she feels like she fits on mum's side of the family there. And she's just coming close because she says your heart is racing at the moment. She says you're concerned about the children and she says you've really got no need to be. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice. The professionals are very good at that. Okay. But she's saying she wants you to know that they will all be all right. She just keeps making me aware of somebody with a hearing problem or that needs a little bit extra time to have things explained to them. And she says, just make sure that you do give them their time because that's all they need. They just need that little bit extra encouragement at the moment. She says that you've been dealing with a lot of things on your own and she says you carry the burden, but she doesn't want you to have all of these problems in your chest here. Okay, she just says it's important that you take it easy and just have that faith that things will work out. She says the housing situation around you is getting concluded. That's coming to an end. And she says there's light at the end of the tunnel, but you'll understand that. She's just laughing here and just saying, now who's telling who to stop smoking? Okay, and she's just chuckling away with that. And I know that must be like a little joke between the two of you that would have happened the other way round. All right. Okay. Now, I don't know who suffered from measles because I just feel like I need to acknowledge the little boy that suffered from measles. And I know that she just brings in a lot of healing for him, but she's seen this since she's passed. She just says to me, my darling, you just need to keep your head clear right now and spend that time looking after yourself. And she says, for goodness sakes, put your glasses on. Okay, so just understand she's just really around you. It's like she's picking up, she's helping you do the housework and things like that. That's the feeling that she puts through me. And she's just sort of helping you deal with one day at a time. Okay, so I'm going to leave her love with you and your granddad as well. Yes, your granddad's love with you and say God bless you. Okay, you're very, very welcome, Danielle. And then we've got to go to Natalie. So if I can have Natalie's comment back up there. Cool, my heart's really racing, Natalie. Oh, okay. Natalie, do you understand Dad and Granddad, please, up there? Oh, you understand the 60? Okay, yeah, I just knew that I was in my 60s, but I did feel slightly younger 60 than older 60s, so he took me to sort of 65 first. I know that he acknowledges Dad being passed too, and Dad being reunited with him. And it's a really funny thing. It's like they're out there doing the garden, which he says, you wouldn't believe it, would you? He says, I've grown an affinity to the garden since I've gone over. And he says quite literally now, he says, I'm growing the daisies, not pushing them up. So I know he's got quite a funny sense of humour here, but at the same time, he's quite a gentle energy as he comes forward. He's just saying to me at the moment that he's aware of the personal troubles that are going on with you. And he says, don't forget that it's not that nobody's holding your hand, because I am. He says he's with you, and he's also holding your heart. He says you're strong, you'll be fine, and he just sends you all the love in the world. Now, he just talks to me here. He keeps talking to me about a doll's house. So I don't know whether you'd understand a doll house being a strong memory link, or whether he made doll's house, but he's sort of tinkering around with this doll's house here. And it's a bit like he's using it to symbolically, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but put your life back together again and just make the happy home. He says sometimes people do things that we don't understand, and I'm keeping the details out because we are in a public forum. He says, but sometimes we have to search deep within ourselves for the forgiveness to be able to see them as people making mistakes, rather than it being, if you like, a premeditated cold act. He says, and some people just call it wrong, but they don't appreciate the impact that that has on others. And I know that as he says that, he says you'll understand that. But he says you first need to forgive before you can forgive them. Okay, and I don't want to make it hard and horrible, but you need that peace within you so that you can get that peace for yourself, so that you can go on in your life. But he says to me, once you do that and you get your head back together, that's what he's saying, you'll be able to see a way forward, because he says you'll just keep playing the situations over and over in your head at the moment, and that's not doing you any favours. He says when you wake up at 4:20 in the morning, he says, I'm there with you. And he's laughing about you getting a glass of milk here as well at that time. All right, so just understand that your family's love is with you. We're going to wish you all our very best and send you lots of love. So thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for bearing with us with the internet. We appreciate that greatly. And I'm just going to, bear with me, my producer is speaking. Okay, thank you. Sorry, my producer, His Eminence, was in my ear. Kirsty, you'll understand that, my darling. David, we did see your messages flashing up there. I didn't respond at the time because I wanted to push through the readings there, my friend. I sent it as a messenger, but if you haven't got it or you're not able to find it, then just drop me a hello back or something and I'll reply to you. And it's following the last live that I did with Spiritual Productions and what you were coming through with. Okay, so it's an offer that I made to you there. So everybody, thank you so much for your time, love and attention. Wherever you are in the world, look after yourselves. God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in. Keep liking and sharing. Keep following Wimbledon Church. Keep watching these services. Keep liking and sharing. Everyone puts a lot of effort into this to keep us all coming back together. So keep sending the love. Thank you very, very much. And I'm going to pass back to Jackie now. Over to you, Jackie, my darling.
Okay, Iain, thank you very much for a wonderful demonstration of mediumship.
Okay.
Now, I know some people may be having some problems with the internet, but hopefully they get sorted out and hopefully you're still with us. Before I go into the healing, I just wanted to mention, picking up on a couple of the messages that was going on the bottom of the screen, I know that there are so many people that are wanting a message. If Iain was to work 24/7, there would just always be such a number of people that would want to communicate with their loved ones, and those that are obviously in need of guidance. All I can say is, find your very competent mediums like Iain, on the internet, through your TVs, laptops or phones. Find your churches, and what we have to do is to remember that sometimes, because there are so many people trying to communicate, they are trying to get those little bits of information in with a message. So if you can understand some of the bits of a message, then it may well be your loved ones that have also been calling out, in the hope that Iain would also pick them up. So know that Spirit have that way of sometimes touching 3 or 4 people with the same message. And also know if you're having problems sleeping and you're up those quiet hours of the evening, that your loved ones do actually try to come close to you. So find a picture in an album or put one, in a picture frame that you can talk to, and then look at them, and that guidance will come through. If it's just some general guidance you want on spiritualism, we have a host of ministers, that are there that can perhaps have a chat with you with certain guidance, but look for experts normally on whatever guidance it is that you actually need. Because sometimes our loved ones don't necessarily know, exactly what is happening on the earth, with our finances, or, they can't tell us the best way of using our money. So use experts. But if it's spiritual guidance, then, we've got hundreds of years of experience at the church. I've been a spiritualist 40 years. My husband's been a spiritualist 50 years. Our other ministers at the church and our healers. So always know that you can, come through and contact us, on those lifelines for you. Now, also can't finish this service without thinking of VE Day this weekend. A lot of us tried to celebrate in our hearts and just our homes without being able to go out and join in the events. But there were some wonderful events going on the television, with certain people celebrating, and to see the veterans and their stories. And let's hope by the time that victory in Japan time comes in August, that we are free to be able to really make a difference and really sort of show by putting bunting up and other things, and getting back in that spirit, that same spirit that was had during the war in isolation, because this is a very difficult time for people's mental well-being. So we will have the meditation as the service finishes. There'll be some lovely, wonderful scenery that Richard's put together. And I'm going to now ask you to join us for that healing meditation, and to think of all the individuals that we know that are in need of healing at this time. Those that are unwell, that we know about, and those that are unwell in hospitals and other places that we don't know. And also, if we can send out healing to those people that are keeping us going, obviously our NHS family, and we clap and make a noise on a Thursday night, but it's not just the doctors and the nurses, it's the porters, it's the pharmacists, it's the cleaners, it's the delivery drivers, the bus and train and tram drivers. It's the people that are going out every day, regardless of if they feel fearful inside. And what they do with that fear is going forward and keeping our systems going so that we can be safe. Those of us that are lucky enough to be at home or work from home, but those that are going out in the world, and those that are having to travel to work and have that risk, whether they're filling shelves in a supermarket or, they're in a little convenience store. And we have to think also of the mental stresses for all the small business owners, that hopefully we may get slight improvements after the Prime Minister speaks to us later, and some will start to reopen. But those that are worried, not just about their physical health, but about, if they've actually lost their business, if they'll ever be able to open the hairdressers or their flower shop or their little grocers, their little coffee shop. And when we start to have that more freedom to go out, then start to actually protect those small businesses by being able to support them in any way that we can. And, going round to our little local grocer to try and make sure that his business continues. Also think of all the charitable work and those individuals that are volunteering and going out to people's homes that are doing this every day. So if we can just have a moment where we just relax and we think of the healing energies that go out to individuals. There may be some of you that are new that are not really quite sure what healing is, and I've got a little bit from a book from Silver Birch that I will actually read in a moment about healing. but just send positive love and energy. Feel it tingle in your fingers, tingle in your toes. Feel that energy as though you're sending a big pink fluffy blanket out from your home to the world, to all areas that are in need, that you're giving upliftment for those that are in darkness, those that are having difficulty in the isolation, those that are physically unwell, for children that don't understand why they're in isolation. Keep that energy going. Feel the tingle from your fingers go into each individual that is in need of healing at this moment. Don't forget to also give yourself some healing. A few deep breaths. Inhale that which is good. Exhale that which you no longer need. Think of keeping that positive energy flowing. Think of all the love that is being received, and how there are so many volunteers out there now, so much community spirit. Sometimes it takes a crisis in life for individuals to come together and to show how much they care for individuals around them. Keep that wonderful blue energy, golden energy. Feel it as energy of raindrops. We know our healing angels are around us, and that they will go forward and try to be there for everyone and everyone's different needs. We thank our healing angels for working with us. So I just want to share these words from this book about healing for those of you that are not really perhaps familiar. The teachings from Silver Birch. And this healing is saying it doesn't always have an effect on everyone physically. Healing is on many different forms, mind, body and spirit. But we pray that we shall play our part in helping the eternal process of creation to drive out the darkness, the ignorance, the superstition, the selfishness. Our task is to replace them with positive light, to enable the children of the Great Spirit to fill themselves with the radiance. In expressing our gratitude for all that we have received, we pray that they may be worthy to continue to be channels for this divine wisdom and power, and able to serve less fortunate than ourselves, and to help strengthen and widen the spheres of influence. And if we have an understanding of healing, that this is a universal force of positive love and energy that is there for us to tap into, and for our healing angels to help us and be guided by. And we thank our healing angels as we come back to ourselves, back to the service. And I just want to do some thank yous as well for this service before we finish. You know, I want to thank Richard for being our producer, for helping us. We couldn't do it without Richard. And to remind people that there are many different things that are on during the course of the week. The Psychic Sofa is on at 2:30 this afternoon, and Sally and Bob are on at 8 p.m. this evening. So we need to, start to just have a look. You've got spirit and the paranormal, as you see the advert changing. And, so have a look, delve into looking at different things. And as taken a few words from Ash's address earlier in the service about use this time for, putting down on paper the things that you enjoy and that you've enjoyed, having more time for, and the things that you don't want to have to do again. Use it as a chance. There's a saying, one day or day one. Let this be day one of a new positive view where you start to focus on the things that matter to you in life. And that the new normal, as they talk about it, won't be the same as the old normal. And that perhaps our sense of looking after community and looking out for those in need, will have changed completely forever. And that we've actually had time to sort of sit and, actually look at the wonderful birds in the trees, the sky, the sunshine. We have been very lucky with the weather that we've had, for those that can get out and for those that are able to sit in the garden. Time to be quiet and attuned to ourselves. We will have all had moments in the last week where we have felt a little low, that we have felt a little agitated or irritated for being at home. And we know that we will appreciate that freedom of movement far more. I've never really thought about people that have had to be isolated before this event, those that are incarcerated, those that are unable to get up from a bed, and an appreciation for the difficulties. That's one part with being a healer, learning about healing, is understanding situations we have to go through that actually give us an empathy for those so that we can go forward with that healing. So as I want to thank everybody, and I want to say that when we finish the service today, we will be going into a meditation, which is why I kept my one shorter, so that we can use those moments then for self-healing for us. We've had the meditation where we have sent out healing to others and thinking about all of those that are keeping our lives together. And this is the chance now for us to be able to, to just look at the wonderful pictures that Richard has put up for us. And hopefully we'll see you again for next week's service. We've had it confirmed that Warren Bailey will be our medium for next Sunday's service. So it'd be lovely to see Warren again, because we haven't seen him for a while. He does live quite some distance away from London. So it'd be really lovely for him to be part of the service. Ray will be chairing the service next Sunday. We're trying to alternate it so that you don't see both of us every single week. But I hope that you've enjoyed the service. As I say, look on YouTube and look and see the other spiritual production things. So thank you. God bless until we see you all. God bless Iain for working with us as we say goodbye, and we then go on to our short meditation. Thank you, everyone. As the sun is setting, wonderful waves as they hit the shore and hit the rocks to cause the lovely white water. See the beautiful clouds reflecting on the sea, the last of the sun reflecting on the sea with the wonderful red of the sky and the darkness from the clouds. And just feel the rhythm of those waves. Feel the peace. Feel as though it's just washing over you as a healing. Feel that radiance. And now look to the beautiful peace of this river. It is so calm. Our life is a journey on a boat. Sometimes we feel we're clinging onto the side, and sometimes we feel that we're the captain and that this is lovely and it's smooth. See the lovely reflection of the clouds, the reflection of the trees, of nature at its best, the beautiful deep green for healing. See the smoothness of that river. See the mountains in the background. Give it a serenity and a peace. Just feel as though you're suddenly on the back of an eagle and you're taking the same journey. You're just flying over this river. Just soaring into the sky, soaring up with the clouds, looking at the tops of the hills and the mountains, seeing that beautiful peace, untouched beauty, going through the soft clouds like going through smoke, as though we're touching heaven from earth. Feel that the angels are around us. See the mist from the river's water just slowly going across. See the reflection of the sun as though only being able to see it from the water. Look at each individual tree, how beautiful it is. How they are there as heroes of the earth, looking after all of our gases. See the beauty of the light reflecting through the trees. Rays from the sun, rays of hope, rays of positive energy. See the beautiful bird, the robin, on his branch, just going on with life, with a wonderful feather as it is just catching the breeze on the grass, deciding if it's going to fly or if it's just going to turn over. Look now at the beautiful wild poppies, a great remembrance of 75 years of world peace. See those wonderful poppies in the field. Think of all those wonderful souls that fought for freedom and for love, for security of family, and the beauty of the poppies. Look at the wonderful grasslands, beautiful long grass that you can walk through, feel it on bare feet. Think of the butterflies that are around in the trees, the sound of bird song, just how quiet and peaceful you're feeling, how energized you're feeling, just how wonderful looking at the sun and the beautiful yellow flower opening up to the sunlight. Just as we open up spiritually to our spiritual self. Have a look again as the clouds are going at quite a speed as we're moving along with those clouds. Look at the beautiful lines in each individual leaf on this tree as it's just caught by the wonderful, beautiful waves of the air. See, I think it's a dragonfly that's just perched on a leaf with such beauty and magnificence that you wouldn't see if it wasn't enlarged. And just how tranquil and peaceful it's making us feel. Again, we're flying back with the eagle, soaring over the trees that are all topped with snow, in between the clouds, moving ourselves forward, going on our life's journey, wherever the clouds take us, look at the beautiful formation of the rocks and the mountain, looking at the snow that's still on the top of this mountain, the rocks. It's been a mountain to climb, but we're at that top. We're looking down now from that top and knowing that we're beginning to see that light. We're beginning to fly through the clouds, on with the next part of our life's journey, taking all of the experience of the last couple of months on learning, on this learning experience of life, and just seeing, lifting ourselves out from the clouds and knowing that it's actually brighter on the other side, that there are beginning to be some blue sky in between those clouds. As the blue sky comes out again, taking us into wonderful freedom of blue skies and a feeling of being out in the world, out in nature, that relaxation as we have our last looks at those wonderful mountains, those ridges. Those mountains have seen us for tens of thousands of years, but we can see the valley below, and we know that we can see a pathway down to that valley. And that once the mountain has disappeared into the background, we will be back there, back in our new worlds, our new normal, but knowing that we have spiritually opened and developed. Just feel the waves just pass over you one more time with the peace and the harmony. Feel the warmth from the sun that is just disappearing below the level of the sea. And just feel that peace and that harmony. Think of all of our friends on the other side of these rivers and seas, and know that we are close to them. Look at the calmness of this river, freshness of the snow, the new beginnings as we see that sun. And as I say, keep well, keep safe. You know, love to all of the church family that I know so well, but love to all of those that have found us as well on this site. Until we all meet again, stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless you all. Goodbye.